Good evening. It is January 15th, 2022, and I wanted to show you the seeds that I have planted out in my garden for my fall and winter garden, and share with you a quick little haul that I got from the Dollar Tree gardening section this year. Just went there just recently, so I will go ahead and get into this. And I also have a few seeds that I haven't planted out yet for spring that I picked up from Lowe's, and some flowers that I also picked up from Lowe's that I'll be planting here in the next months ahead. We will first get into the onions that I've planted so far, and I picked these up from Walmart or Lowe's, but it's the Flavor King bunching onions. And then I have some red Creole onions from HOSS Tools, and then some Ferre Granix yellow onions from Lowe's. And then I'll get into the peas. I have put a lot of peas out there, and I have a lot more peas to put in going forward. And we'll start with the sugar snap peas. I have the Oregon Sugar Pod 2, and I have the Cascadia Sugar Snap from Ferre that I got from Lowe's. And let's see, these are the snow peas, so they're like sugar snap snow peas. And then for the shelling peas, I have Easy Peasy from Burpee. And these have 10 to 11 tasty peas per pod and 2 pods per node. Striking blue-green foliage and curly tendrils, self-supporting. And that's from Burpee. And then also from Burpee, I got the early Burpeena, which is 3-inch pods that are filled with 8 to 10 sweet tender peas, extremely prolific and early. They are 24 inches tall, so they are a sort of a semi-dwarf, self-supporting early shelling pea. And then the other Burpee that I received is the Early Perfection, and these are extremely prolific, early and drought resistant, produce 3.5-inch pods filled with 7 to 10 sweet tender peas on 30-inch vining plants. And then from HOSS Tools, I have Mr. Big P, which is doesn't say anything about these except for they are extra large shelling pea. And then the final one that I picked up is from my local feed store, and it is the Progress shelling pea, sweet pea. So that is all the ones that I've planted out in my garden, and I'll be planting some more here very shortly, just to do another succession before spring is over with. And then these next ones will be greens and lettuces that I have planted out in the garden. So this is the Prize Head lettuce from Ferre. Then I have the Gourmet blend lettuce from Ferre. And I bought these last year, but I'm still using them and planting them this year. Savannah mustard, which is one of my favorites from HOSS Tools. They, I wouldn't say it's like a smaller mustard green, because it actually gets pretty large, but they stay super velvety and tender. And then we have Sun Angel spinach from HOSS Tools, which is a very heat resistant variety of spinach, which is very useful for us here in Zone 9A in North Florida. And then I planted some pelleted Olympia spinach. And that is it for those greens. Then I put in an order for Amazon for some fall greens that I planted out. And these seeds actually impressed me for Amazon. You don't know with the sellers how old the seeds are really going to be, or how how good they're going to germinate or anything like that. But These So Right seeds I've had really good luck with. They sent me a lot of seeds, and they all jumped really quickly and produced really good vegetables. So I was really impressed by that. So the first one is going to be Swiss chard, rainbow Swiss chard. And the next one is going to be Lola Rosa lettuce. So this is all the red lettuce that you've seen growing in my garden throughout the fall. Has been this Lola Red right here. And then I have planted out some lacinato kale. And then we have some red acre cabbage, some Savoy Perfection cabbage, and then two of my favorite greens that we're eating in the garden right now. That's this pak choy and this black knight capsule, which I've already clearly emptied this package, and I need to get some more of these, but they are so delicious and so tender and so juicy, and I will be planting a lot more of these. So that is the greens that I had for this fall and early spring that I planted out. And then this next thing I'll go over is the flower seeds that I recently picked up that I'll be planting out this spring. I'll start with the perennials because I only have a couple of them, and then I'll show you the annuals and a couple of vegetables that I have for later. So this is the painted daisy, and it's the single mix. So it is a single petaled mixed daisy. And then I have a purple coneflower. And these are from Livingston. And I think I actually got these from the feed store when I picked up those peas. But also Livingston seeds, Gloriosa Rudbeckia daisy. And then I have a few sunflowers. One is the dwarf teddy bear. And these have 5-inch across flowers, and they grow on a 36-inch plant. And then the next one is a Frontera Sunflower, and this is a colorful, easy to grow sunflower. Paint your garden with shades of mahogany orange, ivory, gold, and yellow, even bi-colors. Contains 25% vanilla ice, 25% autumn beauty, 25% lemon queen, and 25% evening sun. So of those, never heard of vanilla ice, but I have planted autumn beauty and lemon queens and evening sun. So that's exciting because the lemon queens actually get 10 feet tall, at least the ones that I did, and have multiple heads on them. That was the first year that I grew sunflowers. I grew lemon queens, and they were absolutely spectacular. So that's exciting. And then I have Dwarf Incredible. And all of these sunflowers are pollinated flowers. I don't generally buy any of the ones, even the pretty ones, that don't have pollen, because the bees enjoy the sunflowers so much, and I such enjoy watching all the bees and all the baby bumblebees and everything all over these flowers. So this one is, let's see if it says how tall. 2 feet tall. So 2 feet tall, and doesn't say how big the flowers are, but so a shorter, just plain looking sunflower. And then in the annuals, I just got a tall deluxe snapdragons. Snapdragons are one of my favorite flowers to grow in the springtime, especially with all different colors and the color mixes. And this one is Candy Tough. I may have grown this last year, but I just don't remember. It does look familiar, but I don't know if I actually bought it or just looked at it. But this is an annual dwarf fairy mixed color. And then I got a zinnia, and this is a giant double flower lavender. So I think, to me, this reminds me of like a Purple Prince zinnia, but it's a pure purple one with a double flower. So excited about growing that one. And then this is another different one for me. So this is called an Eskimo Marigold, and I have all the colors of marigold. I have gold, big gold ones, I've got petite gold ones, I've got the Cracker Jack mix, the bicolor, orange, all kinds of different textures and double flowers and everything, but I don't have any white marigolds. So I was really interested to add this to the mix of my marigold collection. And I found out while I'm looking for a white marigold that decades ago, I think it was Burpee or Ferre Morris, one of the founders of that company, did a nationwide contest for their customers and viewers and supporters to come up with their own white marigold, to breed their own white marigold flower and send it in to them for them to find the perfect white marigold. And apparently this went on for decades until someone actually won the contest. But that's a interesting story to look up. But we will be trying the Eskimo white marigolds this year. Alright, and finally, two more just random ones that I picked up that I'll be starting later. I have a golden zucchini from Ferre Morris, and I have a gray zucchini from Ferre Morris. So I really love the look of the golden zucchini. They're so beautiful growing in the garden. And last year I grew a gray zucchini called Alexandria, which did amazing. I just bought it because it was a little different texture, different kind of squat zucchini. And my daughter's name is Alexandria. But it ended up being the showstopper squash and the best, most prolific squash ever grown in the garden last year. And I still have a few seeds, but I went ahead and picked these up because they were really similar. In case my germination rate isn't that good with the seeds that I have left on the Alexandria squash, I was going to go ahead and just give these a try. So that is that. Real quick, I did get a chance to go to Dollar Tree the other day, and I love to go there after Christmas when they put out their gardening stuff bright and early and pick up seeds and supplies, because there's a few things that I just love that they provide in the gardening section. But this time I just went there a couple days ago, so it was past New Year's and everything, and there was not, the store that I went to, there was really not a big selection to look at, and it was my first experience with the new $1.25 tree. So I was kind of upset about that from the get-go. That Dollar Tree has been $1 for 30 some years, and now it's a $1.25 tree. So there wasn't much of a selection, but there was a few things that I was glad to see to pick up. And the first thing I picked up was just a pair of gloves. And the next thing I picked up was my favorite shears. And these are gray handle shears. They're in the gardening section. They call them gardening shears. But they are just a stainless steel pair of scissors that are super sharp. I use mine in the garden. I have so many pairs of these because they are so sharp and they are so durable that I have them everywhere. I have them all in my garden, my greenhouse, in my kitchen, everywhere. So if you see these gray handled scissors, they're the best scissors you're going to find at a dollar store. And they hold up well. I have some pears from last year in my garden that are starting to rust a little bit, just slightly. They do say stainless steel, but they are slightly rusting, but they're still as sharp as can be. And I've cut everything under the sun with them out there. So if you see these, pick these up. They're a good bargain. The next thing is I picked up some more of these 4-inch pots. So I found these last year, and there's like 20 pots in per pack. I think they're 4-inch pots. And they're not the most durable thing in the world, but I was able to save and reuse all the ones that I used last year. They're all filled up in my greenhouse with soil and seeds right now. So I wanted to pick up some more. They're still in the same shape as when I bought them. But I picked up 2 more packs of those for seed starting. And then I picked up, they had another size with the next size up, and these are like a 22 ounce 24 ounce maybe pot, and there's probably about 10 of these, 8 or 10 in a pack, and I picked up 2 packs of these for the greenhouse for up potting. And then last year I picked up a couple of these plastic little whiskey barrel looking planters, and I used them in my greenhouse when I was planting out lettuce, like onions or lettuce. They worked really well for just something that you want to plant a bunch of seeds in one area and then be able to easily separate them all out, such as lettuce and onions. These work great for that, so I went ahead and picked up another one for that purpose. So alright, well that wraps up everything that I wanted to show you so far. I do have a couple things in my cart for Baker Creek for another haul later on, and I might order some more from different, try different places out. But the next video will probably be on just showing you what I got going on in the greenhouse, because I've been filling that up. So thank you for watching and have a great night.